Welcome, this is the Real-Time Storytime. I am Robert R. Ricks. I am an author, YouTube personality, and this is a interactive real-time story. The audience will come in shortly. Give this a few minutes here. That's important because this show is nothing without the audience. You see, the audience are going to provide to me keywords or phrases. I need roughly 10 of them, up to 14. And if I can get 10 into the story, then that is a win. If I'm not, well, then that's an epic fail. Thankfully, I've only had maybe a couple epic fails, but for the most part, I have always met the goal. Now, these keywords will be provided to me, then I'll have about 2.5 minutes to figure out what I'm going to do as far as the story. Then I rock it and hopefully entertain you. Now, I will warn you, there is some language, usually, and sometimes the stories are pretty twisted, sometimes fun, but I always try to make it entertaining at the very least. If language is going to be a problem, you might not want to check this show out. Hang tight, grab a beverage of your choice, relax, and we will get this thing going soon. While you're waiting, if you want to figure out how you can support the channel, there's always a coffee page where you can feel free to buy me a cup of coffee. Or you can check out tacticalgeek.com where I have some swag up. As I mentioned earlier, I'm also an author. You can find my books on amazon.com. Just search for Robert R. Ricks. And I promise you, the stories are good. What's up? It's your boy, Robert R. Ricks. This is the Real-Time Storytime. It is Sunday, March 1st, 2020. I can't believe we're already in March. And this is Real-Time Storytime. We already got a bunch of words that have flown through. My family, as I ran in here, threw words at me, slapped me in the head, and so we have some of those. Backwoods came through real quick, dropped off a couple. Nut job dropped the word I'm going to have to look up called Tuppence. And looks like Paul already has some words in. So the way this works is the folks that are here provide words for me. I have to make a story off those words. And I guess what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and...
Please submit your words now.
We'll get this shit started. And I noticed for the last couple of episodes that the audio with me talking was really, really quiet. So hopefully this time around the audio will be better. So Paula has Mario and Luigi and Yoshi. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. And I'm gonna have to, so the word so far is Nuisance, Fiddlesticks, Upu, Crusty boogers, Wrinkly foreskin, Tuppence, which I'm gonna have to look up, Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2. Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2 do the Lurch. Okay, I don't know what Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2 do the Lurch. Black Heart. And Iron Fist. Alright, thank you for that. And I'm going to look up Tuppence, because I don't know what the hell that is. Tuppence. Tuppence. Neck has gone up to, oh, Tuppence. Halfpenny piped. Opinion. Vulva or vagina. British slang for vulva or vagina. Tuppence. Okay. Tuppence is another word for 2 pence in early form of British currency. It can also mean hardly anything or worthless. Tuppence. The phrase tuppence a bag is an advertisement woman in a song. Tuppence bag. Tuppence? Tuppence bag. Okay, well, tuppence, I guess. But JJ means slang. Tuppence. So I wonder if he meant like a slang for pussy. Is that what he was trying to say? Slang, usually childish, British opinion. Tuppence. Huh. Okay, well. We'll have to figure that shit out. Tuppence. Okay. The JJ or cheap. The JJ or... Okay. Let's see. Garen says one's an old political slogan, the other a dance and sing from Adam's Family series. Oh, do the Lurch. Okay, so it's 2 separate things. So do the Lurch. Do the Lurch. Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2. And do the Lurch. Okay, do the Lurch. Alright, so we got Nuisance, Fiddlesticks, Upu, Crusty boogers, Wrinkly foreskin, Tuppence, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2, Blackheart, Iron Fist, and do the Lurch. Okay, I think I have words. I have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do with them. But, let's pick something for me to think with. Alright. I use this one to think with. Let's see, I can go back to this. Turn that off. What the fuck am I going to do with this? Nuisance, Fiddlesticks, Upu, Crusty boogers, Wrinkly foreskin, Tuppence, or Tuppence, Tuppence, I guess it's Tuppence. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, Tippie Canoe and Tyler 2. Blackheart, Iron Fist, do the Lurch. Do the Lurch. Okay. Okay. So what I've got here is some notes down there on the bottom. We're going to get this thing started. Again, the words are Nuisance, Fiddlesticks, Poo, Crusty Boogers, Wrinkly Foreskin, Tuppence, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, Tippie, Canoe, and Tyler 2, Blackheart, Iron Fist, and Do the Lurch. Okay, so those are the words. Get my stuff ready here so the pages don't turn on me inadvertently. Like that. Take out the headphones. Like that. Now, for you folks that are watching, if I use one of the words, you'll see this flash. For you folks listening on the podcast, sorry, no such thing. And before I begin, is the audio okay? Just let me know while I take a sip here. I think it is. Everything looks good. All right. Okay. Turn this off here like that. Everything else looks good. 5 by 5. Okie dokie. It was one of my days off. One that I was enjoying immensely. I hadn't had quiet me time for quite some time. And so you can imagine my irritation as the little kid tugged on my arm and started to ask questions. What did I forget? Hang on. What did I forget? Hang on. Make sure I didn't forget one here. Let's see. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi. Oh, knees cracking. Knees cracking. Sorry. Let's get that added in there. Got it. Sorry. Sorry. Kid stared at me, and I looked at him. It wasn't very often when a child would approach me and so foolishly tug on my arm. I thought perhaps the kid hadn't seen my face or didn't know who I was. I stared at him, and he smiled at me. "Mister, you're the guy, right?" "I'm the guy what?" "You're the guy that takes jobs and solves problems?" I could feel the migraine coming. Actually, that wasn't true. It had been a long time since I had an actual migraine, but the recollection of what it would feel like was there, and I attributed this to my irritation. "Kid, you couldn't afford me." "Really? What about this?" He held out a bag. I opened it. Inside was a watch. Not just any watch, but an old gold watch. "Where'd you steal this from?" "Steal it? Gee, mister, I don't steal nothing. That's mine, fair and square. I need you to help me with something." I tilted my head, stared at the boy. "You have a odd way about you, boy." "Yeah. Some say it's kind of queer, but it's okay." "No. I know I'm not your average bear." No. No, you're not." There was something odd about the boy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. It was his confidence, perhaps. The way he carried himself. I quickly assessed his age. Figured he couldn't have been older than 8. "Where's your mother, your father?" "This had nothing to do with them, mister. This is business between 2 men. The watch suffice or not?" "Suffice? Shouldn't you be at home playing video games or something? You know, maybe watching Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi do their things on the screen. Look, I don't know who those fellows are, and I really don't care. All I know is I have a problem, and I need your help. Interesting. Well, what would you say if I said no and handed you back this beautiful watch? Well, I'd say, Fiddlesticks, you need to take care of this. You need to help me with this. Why? Well, to be honest with you, mister, you might be the only one who can help me. Fine. Have you eaten yet? As a matter of fact, I have not eaten yet, sir. All right, kid. I'll buy you a sandwich and then we can talk. Since I was gonna go and grab myself something to eat anyway. He walked along with me, and I was still irritated with this situation. But I looked back and observed his mannerisms, and I was thankful. Usually a lot of the younger kids in the neighborhood would shy away from me, and they would be somewhat brazen enough to throw out a joke, an insult, something along those lines. And this was not one of those nasty little crusty boogers. This one was different. He saw that I was deep in thought, pondering him as we got to the deli. What would you like, kid? Grilled cheese sandwich? You buying? I shrugged. Sure. Well, give me one of the big hoagies with everything on it, with salt, pepper, oil, vinegar, the works. Oh, extra pickles. Extra pickles. Okay. I ordered his sandwich, thought about it for a second, made it a double. Pointed to a booth I used from time to time for business meetings, and he sat down. All right, kid. You have till the sandwiches come to make your pitch. Okay. So check this out. There's a lady. She stole something from my daddy. And it's kind of important. It's like a family heirloom. It's been with us for, I don't know, quite some time. And I was responsible for it. I wasn't supposed to let it get taken, but she somehow stole it. Okay, so you're saying there was something that you were supposed to be watching, and a full-grown adult woman stole it. Yes, exactly. Okay. What is it? It's a knife. A knife. Yeah, it's a knife. How did you hear about me? I'm just curious. Come on now, are you serious? You're legendary in this neighborhood. Yeah, I know. And I know all the stories that people tell. I'm curious how you found out about me. He looked around cautiously, opened his jacket, pulled out a coin, placed it on the table. I looked at it. It was larger than a quarter, the same base material of a penny, I imagined. It looked coppery, had flecks of green on it, and there was a woman's head on one side, and then I flipped it over, and it was the back side of her head. Interesting. So, this told you about me? Yeah, kinda, sorta. Here, let me show you. He palmed the coin in his hand, brought it up to his mouth, whispered something to it, and then revealed it to me. A faint ghostly image of me suddenly danced on the face of the coin. My eyes grew wide. Interesting. Yeah, it is. Anyway, she said you'd be the one to help me. What makes you... Ow! It was at that moment I felt a twinge on my ribs, and then my neck, and then my left eye. He stared at me in amazement. Are you okay? Yeah, give me a second. Ah! I stood up, stretched, reached down to my ribs. Yep, they were broken. Looks like something happens. I pulled out a mirror, looked at it. I could see I had a hell of a shiner. Oh, interesting. And my neck was sore as well. Not many people were able to put hands on me like that. Perhaps there was something to what this kid was saying. Well, I guess this is a keen indicator that I guess I'll be doing a dance for you. Doing a dance for me? You mean like doing a lurch? Yes, do the lurch. Interesting choice of words. Yeah, I guess that's accurate. Okay. So, you'll help me get it back? The knife? Sure. Let me borrow the coin. Why? Well, the coin led you to me. If it does what I think it does, it might be of use to me. He thought about it, nodded, handed me the coin, and then I looked at him. You've already asked her where it's at. He nodded. And you need me because obviously she has some muscle of some sort that would prevent you from going. Again, he nodded. What's your name, kid? Henry. Well, Henry, I guess this means that you and I are going to be working together. So I'm going to take this coin and I'm going to write an address for you. I want you to go to that address, knock on the door. A very young, pretty lady will answer, and then she will tell you when I'm back. You can stay with her as long as you want. I'm thinking, based off of these injuries that I have, I should be done in about an hour. If you don't mind me asking, he began, staring at my eye, what hurt you? Oh, this? I pre-heal. You what? I pre-heal. So, before I get hurt, the wound occurs to me in various stages of healing. And when I finally come upon the person who inflicted the wound on me, the moment that they do it, I'm instantly healed. So what are all of those? He pointed at the other scars all around my body. My face, my neck, my jaw, my arms. Those were very serious wounds. And at some point I'll find out who gifted them to me. And then what? Oh, and then I'm going to kill those people. Okay, so we're on the same page. I don't want you to kill the woman. I just want you to get the blade back from her. Can't promise you that, but as a general rule, I don't like to kill people, so I think your request will be okay, depending on what happens. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, sandwiches came. I wrapped mine up to go. Wrote the address down, handed him the note. He took it and began to eat a sandwich. I left him there. I walked out, went to the neighborhood liquor store on the corner, walked in, the cash register, clerk behind it stared at me, at my new black eye. What can I get you? Give me some of that black heart up there. He grabbed the bottle, handed it to me. Anything else? Nah, this will be fine. Just need this for later. Okay. Paid the man, walked out, went down to the alley, sat down, took the coin out, examined it. This is a very, very interesting coin here. Definitely not a tuppence at all. There's some value to you, huh, honey? Yes, there is value with me. All right. Let's play a couple of questions here. You happen to know where the boy's blade is? Yes. Wouldn't happen to know how I could get there. I can lead you there. But there will be several that will attempt to stop you. Will I be able to subdue them, or do I need to kill them? It depends on how good you are. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and find out, shall we? Lead the way, honey. The coin began to vibrate, and images danced in my mind. Wow, that's a cool trick. Oh, by the pawn shop. Yes. Haha, thank you. Okay, let's go. I got up, my knees cracking as I did. Felt very stiff. Stiffer than normal. Then I realized, some sort of poison, something. This will be interesting to see what this is. I walked, body aching, joints and ligaments screaming out in protest as I moved. This is not fun. I know the kid didn't want me to kill anybody, but somebody's going to get really hurt for this. Got to the pawn shop. The coin led me to a small building off to the left a bit that I had never noticed before. That's odd. Went to the front door and just knocked. There was the sound of multiple locks being released. The door opened just enough. Yes? Yeah, I'm here. To what? Hadn't given us a whole lot of thought. I'm here for the blade, I said simply. Which blade? The blade that was stolen from the boy earlier. I'm sorry, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. The door went to close. I thought about it for a second. I knocked again. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Sir, if you don't leave, I'm afraid I'll be forced to call the police. Fair enough. But I do need to speak with the woman inside, so I don't think I'll be leaving. So if you want to call the police, go ahead. There was a commotion inside. Finally, the door opened. There was a young Asian woman who stood there staring at me. You're a piece of work, she said, staring at me. I nodded. So, I have a client who has paid me to come and retrieve some stolen items. Yeah, about that. That's not going to happen. Why is that? Well, because I don't have the blade anymore. Really? Where is the blade? Well, I was hired to get the blade, and then I gave it away to the person who paid me. You know, it's supposed to be my day off. I'm supposed to be relaxing and just enjoying myself. I get so few of these. I would very much like to help this kid out, be done for the day. I'm not trying to be a nuisance or anything. I'm just really needing a break. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I can let you come in. You can look around. It's not here. Like I said. And you really don't want to fuck with the guy that I gave the blade to. Really? I don't know. I think I disagree. I'd really like to take care of this, though. So maybe I will come in so we can have this conversation on the inside. She stared at me and smiled. Fine. She stood to the side, opened the door all the way, waved me in. I had just passed the threshold and the door had just clicked behind me when I felt the familiar tingle. It was about to go down. I was amazed as I realized it was the woman who was about to inflict the wounds on me. I felt the first kick to my ribs, which instantly doubled me to my side for a moment, the briefest of moments, as that injury healed right then, right there. As I had fell forward, she had slipped something around my neck and yanked. That pulled me back. I went to fight, and she pulled me forward, and that's when my face slammed against the door. The doorknob had been the item that had caused the black eye. I went down and feigned that I was unconscious. Reality was I was completely healed up. But she didn't know that. I felt her put hands on me, and as she did, I spun, wrapped her arms, slammed her down hard, and smiled at her. She stared at my black eye, or lack thereof, and was amazed. Holy shit, she said. What? It's true. What's true? All the stories they say about you. It's fucking true. You instantly heal. Something like that. Okay, listen. I really don't want to fuck with you. Okay, Scarface, I'm good with you. If you want the blade, I'll tell you the guy who's got it, but I'm telling you, you don't want to fuck with him. He's a nasty, nasty guy. Well, I think I do. Now, please. And I leaned so she could feel the weight of my pressure on her. Make this quick. Oh, I can make it super quick. So, the high rise, the tall building, 3 blocks down? Yeah, I know it. Okay. Top floor. Belongs to a very special... I shook my head. Fuck, not him. Yeah, him. Holy shit. So that son of a bitch actually has it. Yep. Wow. Okay. I helped her up. You could have led with that. You could have just said it. You didn't have to come and try to take me out. She laughed. And not know the truth? I was really curious. And this is the first time I've had an experience to deal with you, so, forgive me. I just want to see if the stories are true. Fine. Well, let's not do this again. I turned and walked out. She closed the door behind me. I walked a few blocks down, got to the building, walked into the front. Got as far as the elevator before 7 security guards surrounded me. I had no wounds. I had nothing new on me, so I knew this wasn't going to end in any kind of a physical altercation. But the headache that I thought was a phantom headache earlier in the day had grown worse, as had a ringing in my ears. Interesting. The men said, "What do you want here, sir?" "I'm going upstairs." "No, you're not." "Yes, I am. One way or the other, I'm going upstairs. So you can call your boss and tell him I'm coming, or he can pay for a whole lot of hospital bills as I go through you." Again, I waited. One of their devices beeped in their ears, faintly audible to me. "Yes, sir. I'll bring him right up. Come on. Boss will see you." Like I said, one way or another, I was going upstairs. Got in the elevator, rode it to the top. I got there, and a woman greeted me. "Oh, he is predisposed at the moment, but if you would like, you can have a seat here. Would you like some water?" I shook my head. "No, I'm good." "Are you sure?" Yeah. I thought about the aching in my body, the obvious poison that was coursing through it. "Yeah, no, I'm good. No need for water." "Okay." The man came out after a few minutes, smiling, with a wooden box in his hand. "Hey," I said, "is that my knife?" "No. No, sir. This is not your knife. This knife belonged to a family that is extraordinary in many ways, and at first I thought perhaps this blade was the explanation to why they are remarkable. But I was incorrect. This blade is indeed enchanted and magical, but not what I was looking for." Okay. Well, good. You'll hand it back to me, I'll be out of your way, and call it a day. How's that sound?" He shook his head. "I'm afraid I can't do that." I looked at him, and there was the faintest of tattoos peeking under his shirt. I saw it by the collar. "Nice tat," he said. I said as he looked at me. "What?" He covered it quickly. It's too late. I had seen the top part of a dragon. It reminded me of the logo I had seen on the Marvel Comics Iron Fist. As I had grown and entered America, it was a comic book series that had captivated me in the early 70s and 80s. I had heard there was a new show that had popped up about it, but in any event, the logo was very similar. And I knew he had been a member of the Dragon Clan. "So, what does the dragons want with the blade? From, I don't know, can I see it?" He thought for a moment, opened the box and showed it to me. I glanced at it, shook my head. "That's a bad blade right there." He smiled at me. "You could tell that just from looking at it." It's more than just looking at it. It's a feeling I get. There's a couple of different items in this room that are also giving off very similar nasty vibes." How interesting. "Point them out to me." I pointed at a couple of the paintings that were on the wall. Also pointed at a little metal box that was sitting on the receptionist's desk. He smiled. "Ah, yes, that box." He smiled. I cringed. There was a part of me. Mental image flashed in my head, picturing his wrinkly foreskin being fed to that poor girl. I was like, Jesus Christ. I said, "Really, you gotta use that shit to get the action?" Makes it easier. I suppose you're right. In any event, there's a few other things, but I think I've made my point. You are extraordinary. Would you like a job? I'm on a job, actually. I'm about to finish it if you'll hand me the blade. He thought about it for a second, closed the box, and handed it to me. Here you go. As I said, not what I was looking for. Not really of any use to me. Not useful enough to warrant the damage that I know you're more than capable of inflicting. And I'd rather not have to deal with you in that capacity. Ah, great. You don't want any upu. Works for me. Upu? What does that mean? So one of the kids told me a long time ago. It's kind of like the ultimate poop. You don't want to have the ultimate poop experience or some shit. I don't remember. It's something that kind of stuck with me. It's like, don't start no shit, won't be no shit. You know, upu. It's like, upu. He nodded. Interesting. It's always so colorful the way that these Americans make up these words and phrases. Yeah, you're right there. Anyway, thanks for this. I suppose you're going to come back with saying I did you a favor. At some point I might call on you to do a favor, blah, blah, blah. No, nothing like that. I just, as I said earlier, would rather not have to deal with you in that capacity. But if there is a point in the future where you do require some of my services and would like to work with me, that would not be a bad thing. I think that would be mutually beneficial to both of us. I looked at the girl, looked at him. Tell you what, give me 1 second. I walked over to the girl, stuck out my hand, introduced myself. Hey, my name's Michael. She took my hand, physical contact, gave me all the information I needed to know. She smiled. My name is Melissa. Hi, Melissa. So your boss there thinks me working with him would be a good, beneficial situation. And since you work so intimately with him, I thought perhaps you would let me know if that's a good thing or not. For the briefest of moments, she glanced away. Then she looked right back. I think it would be good. He pays very, very well. I see. Thank you. I walked back to him. Well, I tell you what, Iron Fist. His eyebrow raised. That's not my name. I know that, but I can't help it. It's a tattoo. Kind of reminds me of Iron Fist. Let's put a pin in that, and how about it's a maybe? I extended my hand. He glanced at it for a moment and smiled. I hope you won't find me offensive if I decline the handshake. I smiled at him. He knew a lot more about me than he wanted to let on. Fine. No harm, no foul. Talk to you later. I walked out, went down the hallway, got back in the elevator. Security was there in full force waiting for me. I smiled at them. Hey guys, it's all good. Relax. We all took the elevator ride down. I could feel the heat coming off their bodies. I could see them sweating. My reputation had preceded me. They were scared shitless. Of me or him, I wasn't quite sure. But it was irrelevant. I had the blade in hand. I'd hand it back to the kid. Job well done. I went back to the pad. My girl was there waiting. She opened the door. This kid is something else. What do you mean? Just the shit he says. He said something I had to go look up on the damn internet. Yeah? What was it? Something about Tippie Canoe and Tyler too? Oh, my eyes got wide. I had heard that expression in the past. Kid said that? Yeah, and a bunch of other weird shit. And the kid, he likes, well, here, I had smelled the cigar before I walked in. I had thought perhaps she had decided to smoke one of my cigars. So I was very surprised to see an 8-year-old puffing away at the cigar with a smile on his face. Ah, you got it, you got it, that's great, that's great. I looked at him. Yeah, listen, not kid, we gotta have a talk here. There was a whole lot of weirdness going around this blade here. I placed it in front of him. And I'm just kind of curious, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, it's really nothing, really. Like I said, my dad wanted me to watch the blade. I got preoccupied. The the woman got it. I caught her right at the tail end of it, and I knew it was just more than I could handle. I see. I had a The splitting headache was getting much more pronounced now. In fact, there was a trickle that ran down my nose. I wiped at it, saw blood. I looked at the kid. You know, there's a sensation I get when things get a little weird. He was eyeing me cautiously. I opened the box, pulled the blade, started to play with it a little bit, looking at him. I don't understand something. Your coin here. I took the coin, placed it on a table while I held the blade up. Coin knew a lot of information. Coin told me exactly where to go. Coin knew detailed information about security forces, things of that nature, etc. But what was interesting was the fact that the coin was unaware that that blade had been given to somebody else. I can't understand how that happened. I mean, it seemed like this coin was pretty on the point, but it was missing certain details. And you're obviously not an 8-year-old kid. Puffed away at the cigar, smiling at me. What led you to that deduction? Well, if I had to guess, my guess is you're probably closer to 115. That'd be a good guess. You'd be off by a century or two, but I wouldn't hold that against you. So what are we playing here, and what's the deal with the dragon? Well, I will admit there has been a little bit of a masquerade going on, and I haven't been completely honest with you. A lot of us wanted to really see what you were capable of. And to what end? Well, we had to see just how impervious you were to certain things. So, for example, we wanted to see how you could deal with physical trauma. That was very well, as is evident by your face, your neck, and your ribs there. You look amazing. Now we're curious about the headache. I looked at him, my eyes wide. I had suspected something was happening. The headache had begun the moment that he approached me. And then now it was accelerating greatly. I looked at the blade, tossed it back into the box, slammed the lid on it. It was too late. The blade flashed a brilliant light. I felt the tingle, knew something was happening, and then I felt intense pressure around my eye sockets, and for the briefest of moments, I was floating, falling. Then the world rushed back to me, and I stood, anger flowing through me like a wild river of rage. You just fucked up, kid. Did I? You look fine. That was really messed up. I tried to figure out what it was. Was it magic? Was it some form of a psionic attack? I wasn't quite sure, but I knew it had came from the blade. I had been set up. Which led me to the last part. I didn't want to tip my hand, though. Poison was one of those things that could have been fast, could be long. Wasn't quite sure. Maybe he wasn't the one who was going to poison me, but I had to find out. I still had an A sleeve up my hand. Up my sleeve. Fine. Was there anything else you wanted to test? He shrugged. No. I think we are in a position to talk about possibly a real job now that the interview is over. How about a hard pass? How about I'm not interested in fucking games? This was supposed to be my day off. I had a busy schedule planned ahead of me. Look, all we want to do is have you help us join our group, and then we can tell you more. And what we have to offer you is this. He motioned with his hands, and a book appeared in front of him. He laid it on the table, opened it. All of the text was obscured, but there was a hand-drawn image that looked very, very familiar to me. It looked like me. What we have here is basically some of your history. You guessed at my age. How old do you think you are? I was getting irritated now. The nuisance had become much worse. That's none of your fucking business. I'm just saying. 1,000 years old, 2,000 years old. What if I told you you are older than 4,000 years old? I paused. There were questions, and if they had any of the answers, that could be interesting. Let's say I'm interested. What would be the rules? Well, the rules would be very simple. We would set objectives for you. You would undertake these objectives. You wouldn't ask questions. And then after 3 or 4 of these things have been done, after each one, we'll disclose more and more information for you. So I guess in that book there's a lot of information about me, huh? No, not really. Not about your abilities, at least. We had to piece some of your abilities together from some of the legends and some of the rumors floating around out here. So you know about my pre-healing. And you know that I'm really old. What else? Do we have a deal? Sure. I extended my hand. He took it without thinking. It was at that moment I took all of the rape, all of the forced actions and activities that Melissa had done, all of the pain that she had repressed, all of the things that magic had made her forget at the surface, but the inside soul knew all the details about. I had took all of that from her. I had planned on giving it to the guy at the tower. But short shit, the nuisance kid, the non-kid, he was a sufficient target. I let it flow through him and his eyes widened. He went to scream for a second as all of the memories had flowed into him. There was a lot. But to his credit, he didn't scream, he didn't cry, and he didn't drop to his knees. The cigar trembled in his hand. He took a deep breath. His eyes were angry. With forced composure, he put the cigar out, steadied himself, and then smiled at me. "That was cute," he said. "Unnecessary, but cute. Well, I figured you might want to document that, since, we'll be working together." "Yes, indeed. I'll take my leave now." He grabbed the coin, pocketed it, and began to leave. "Hey, what about your knife?" "It's useless to us. Keep it. Memento. It'll be something to look back to on our first meeting." "I guess." And then he left. Fuck. What was that all about? I guess I have some new business partners that I'll be working with. I pulled out the black heart. Body still aching, trembling. I felt that sensation, the tingle. Took a sip of the black heart. Put the bottle down. She went to take a drink. I realized all at once as the surge flowed through me. "Stop! Don't drink that." "Why?" "It's poison." "Who the fuck poisoned your black heart?" "I don't know. Somebody's playing a game, though. I'm gonna have to find out who that is." "Think that person's with them?" "Nah. This is something else. I'll figure it out, though." "We have anything else in the cabinet?" "I've got some Jameson." "Grab that. Might as well make the best of the rest of the day, right?" She smiled. "That was my thinking." Well, poison was out of my system. And I had a gold watch and a few other things. And I was intrigued. And the potential of learning more about my past. Well, that was something I just could not ignore. Alright, that's where we're going to end it. Knees cracking, do the Lurch, Iron Fist, Black Heart, Tippie, Canoe, and Tyler 2, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi, Tuppence, Wrinkly, Foreskin, Crusty, Boogers, Fiddlesticks, and Nuisance. Holy hell. That was a rough one, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. This was rough. The only thing that I had going for me is I said, fuck it. Because of the Fiddlesticks, the Tippie, Canoe, and Tyler 2, and do the Lurch, because those were kind of older terms. That's what kind of led me to think of, an older scenario type thing. And so I thought, how fun would it be to have this kid that's using these old school terms? And then I thought, okay, if it's going to be an older person that looks like it's a kid, then I might as well pull it into the Scars environment. So, there you go. That's the story. Yeah, that's it. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out, doing the story time with me. We'll be doing this again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. This one is definitely one of the Scars episodes. This is kind of like a prequel, if you will. And that is going to be it for now. So, be good. Make sure you guys keep your head on your shoulder. Be aware of what's going on around us. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you guys very, very much. The gas screen is frozen. Again. That's it. Thank you guys for participating in the show. The podcast will be up shortly again. If you want to support the channel, feel free to go buy me a cup of coffee or go to Amazon.com. Check out one of my books. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. Also, you can go to realtimestorytime.com. That's where all of the old episodes are. You can also see the podcast on Spotify as well as Apple and Droid pod repositories. That's it. Feel free to share this, like it, all that jazz, and I will see you guys next Sunday. Thanks.